support in Indian Wells. Look at this. I mean, this was in Australia. Court 6 literally had a line. I know I'm exaggerating, but it went for miles at the Aussie. It was wild scenes there. Allie, can you remember a women's star who gets this type of support wherever she goes?
Yeah, well, Taylor Swift. I mean,
Here's the rewritten version. On March 4, 2026, tournament organizers at Indian Wells went public with something no WTA 1000 event had ever felt compelled to announce before the competition had even begun. The Eala Effect was officially overrunning their practice courts. Fans were not waiting for match day. Filipino communities from across California, the state with the largest Filipino population in the United States, estimated at nearly 2 million people, were already crowding training sessions before a single ball had been struck in competition. Not finals, not semi-finals, practice sessions. And somewhere between those packed courts and the secondary ticket market reports being filed by analysts, including Pro Tennis Stories 360, who flagged demand surges that blew past anything projected for early round matches at a WTA 1000 event, one question became impossible to ignore. How did one player from the Philippines turn the WTA's biggest North American swing into a near sellout event before the bracket had even opened? The answer starts on March 26, 2025. Alexandra Eala walked onto the court at the Miami Open as a wild card ranked 140th in the world. Her opponent was Iga Swiatek, world number 2 5-time Grand Slam champion, and the most dominant player in women's tennis over the previous 3 years. What followed was not an upset in the conventional sense of the word. It was a systematic dismantling. Eala's left-handed serve, clocking around 90 miles per hour on first attempts and 75 on second, created angles that consistently dragged Swiatek out of her preferred positions and forced her into 32 unforced errors. Eala made just 12. On break points, the most pressure-concentrated moments in any tennis match, Eala converted 8 of 10. That is an 80% conversion rate against the player who had made winning under pressure look routine for the better part of 3 years. The final score was 6-2, 7-5. When the prize money was tallied, the Miami run had earned her $332,160 from a single tournament, nearly doubling everything she had accumulated across her entire professional career up to that point. Her ranking jumped 65 spots in a single week, from 140 to 75. Grand Slam main draw entry was unlocked. Sponsor conversations accelerated. And the commercial infrastructure of the WTA began quietly, urgently recalculating what Alexandra Eala was actually worth. The practice courts at Indian Wells in March 2026 were the result of that recalculation reaching its logical conclusion. A player whose story had captured something far larger than the tennis world, arriving in California with an audience that had been building for 12 months and showing absolutely no signs of leveling off.
I'd have to say maybe a little bit of Sonia Mirza. Back in her heyday, obviously the Indian fans took to her and they followed her all around the globe, obviously not to this extent. And I think the ceiling that Alex Eala has is obviously that much higher. And I'm going to bring in a little boxing here because my dad wanted me to be a boxer, but I chose tennis. But Manny Pacquiao.
Good call.
Manny Pacquiao, we saw him when he, was at the top of his game. And alongside Roger Federer, he actually had more prize money. So I think that if Eala, can keep doing well with her tennis, who knows? The sky's the limit on the court, off the court. I mean, she could be rolling in it, if you will.
Yeah.
Here's a polished rewrite. But that win alone doesn't explain what happened to ticket markets in Dubai nearly a year later. To understand that, you have to understand what analysts are now calling the portable home court advantage. Most elite athletes have one home city, one home crowd, one place on the calendar where the stands tilt unmistakably in their favor. Eala operates differently. There are approximately 1 million overseas Filipino workers in Dubai. Nearly 2 million Filipinos in California. She doesn't just have a home crowd, she carries one. To every city with a significant Filipino diaspora, she arrives with the equivalent of a home stadium already filled and waiting. And in the WTA's 2026 Middle East and North American swings, that happens to cover almost every stop on the schedule, the 2026 Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, the effect became measurable in hard currency. Official tickets started at 65 dirhams, roughly $17.70. That was the entry point. A perfectly reasonable floor for a WTA 1000 event. Then, on February 17th, Eala defeated world number 8 and reigning Dubai champion Jasmine Paolini, 6-1, 7-6, coming back from a 5-6 deficit in the second set tiebreak to close it out. Multiple players and analysts described the atmosphere inside that stadium as unlike anything they had previously witnessed at a WTA 1000 event. The secondary market responded immediately. Reports of significant resale premiums on Eala's quarter-final sessions began surfacing fast. That 65 dirham face value had become, for a large portion of that market, a starting point, not a ceiling. And that is precisely when the players themselves began confirming what the data was already showing.
She's got a smile that lights up a room too, And I remember last year when she beat Iga Swiatek, and she kind of did it with a lot of grace and humility, And it was really, for me, it was terrific to see her take that match and watch her play after that, and watch her try to continue to progress, because I like her game. Obviously she wants to get better than where she is now, the 32 in the world, but she's got a lot of good hand-eye coordination and ability to take the ball early and redirect. But the fan stuff is always fun for me, because whenever you see players from smaller countries, fans are so passionate when they get up to the top.
It's interesting, Ali mentioned Sonia Mirza. She has nearly 13 million followers on Instagram. That's 5 million more than Carlos Alcaraz, and nearly as many as Alcaraz and Sabalenka combined. So that's how big Sonia Mirza is, was, and will be. But Eala going to be seeded for the first time at a 1000. To find out who she will play in the second round, check out the draw.
World number 4 Coco Gauff, who beat Eala 6-0, 6-2 in that Dubai quarterfinal, publicly thanked her for bringing an entirely new demographic to the sport. Let that sit for a moment. A top 5 player is standing at a post-match press conference and acknowledging that the person she just defeated 6-love in the opening set is doing something to the WTA's commercial reach that Gauff's own results hadn't accomplished. Jessica Pegula went further, commenting specifically on Eala's ability to pack stadiums to a level that defies her ranking entirely. These are not compliments exchanged between friends. These are market assessments, delivered under the lights of post-match press conferences by the sport's own elite. The WTA's institutional response was just as direct. The organization announced the inaugural Philippine Women's Open, a WTA 125 event scheduled for January 2026. The Philippines had never hosted a WTA event in its entire history. The Eala Effect produced one within a single calendar year of the Miami upset. Now here's what the numbers confirm, and what mainstream coverage keeps missing. In 2025, Eala was the most searched Philippine female personality in Google's Year in Search. She ranked 4th among all sports figures searched in the Philippines, trailing only major international basketball and boxing matchups. A pre-tournament press conference for the 2026 Australian Open pulled over 170,000 views on YouTube. Highlight reels titled Alexandra Eala Greatness reached 254,000 views. Tiebreak highlights from the 2025 US Open hit 1.2 million. By early 2026, her Instagram had grown to approximately 850,000 followers, making her one of the most followed players on the entire WTA Tour outside the top 10, despite holding a ranking that until February 23, 2026 had never once cracked the top 30. On that day, Eala reached world number 31, the highest-ranked Filipino in WTA history. But the most revealing data point in this entire story is not a ticket price or a viewership number. In September 2025, a report went viral claiming that Wilson Sporting Goods had offered Eala a $45 million endorsement deal, which she had reportedly accepted. Fact-checking agencies investigated. There was no deal, no statement from Wilson. No statement from Eala's team. The story was completely fabricated. And it spread anyway. Because the market's perception of what her endorsement value should be had already outrun what her actual signed contracts reflected. Her verified sponsorships are real and growing. Nike, a partnership spanning over 5 years with her portrait now displayed at Nike World Headquarters in Oregon alongside the brand's all-time icons. Globe Telecom, which signed her as an ambassador when she was 8 years old. Bank of the Philippine Islands. A legitimate, expanding portfolio that any player would be proud of. But the $45 million hoax tells you something the verified data cannot. The gap between Eala's actual current deals and what a massive portion of the global audience believes her commercial ceiling to be is wide enough that a completely fabricated transaction felt credible to millions of people. That is not a misinformation problem. That is a valuation signal. As of March 3, 2026, Eala received a first-round buy at Indian Wells as the 31st seed. With 2026 prize earnings already sitting at $291,992, analysts project she is on pace for a career-best financial year, potentially clearing $1 million in prize money if she holds a top 35 ranking through the Grand Slam season. Broadcast rights analysts are already predicting a revaluation of WTA broadcast rights in the Philippines and the Middle East, driven specifically by the viewership numbers attached to her matches. The sticker shock controversy, fans encountering secondary market prices that have completely detached from official face values, has become the defining tension at every tournament she enters. Somewhere in the Indian Wells bracket, a potential third-round rematch with Coco Gauff is already being circled by the same analysts who tracked the Dubai ticket surge. So here is the question that nobody in professional tennis has answered yet. If the Eala effect keeps pushing secondary markets, broadcast revaluations, and institutional WTA responses at this pace, what happens the day Alex Eala reaches a Grand Slam final?